Okay, good morning again.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. Last time we had done in practical up to use case diagram, right? Use case diagram last time we had done. Today we will be doing sequence diagram, right? This sequence diagram, I'm just showing you. So, what is a sequence diagram? If we go to the tutorial, so there are three types of interaction diagram. So, if we talk about interaction diagram, there are three types: sequence diagram, communication diagram, and timing diagram. So, in interaction diagram, we'll be studying only two diagrams, that is sequence diagram and communication or collaboration. Communication and collaboration are the same. So, we'll be studying the two. Timing diagram we are not studying. So these diagrams are used to illustrate interaction between parts within a system. So sequence diagram is also illustrating the interaction between parts within a system. Among the three, sequence diagrams are preferred by both developers and readers alike for their simplicity. So sequence diagram is is the best, which is used by both developers and the readers. So what is sequence diagram? Sequence diagrams commonly used by developers model the interaction between objects in a single use case. So they illustrate how the different parts of a system interact with each other to carry out a function and the order in which the interactions occur when a particular use case is executed. So in simpler words, a sequence diagram shows different parts of a system work in a sequence to get something done. So any one use case you are solving, suppose in a ticket booking, how the tickets are booked for the booking process. Any one sequence you have to show, and how objects are interacting in the system. That is what sequence diagram is. So the notations of sequence diagram are: you have a lifeline like this for an object, a lifeline notation which is known as sequence diagram is made up of several of these lifeline notation that should be arranged horizontally across the top of the diagram. No two lifeline notation should overlap each other. They represent the different objects or parts of the that interact with each other in the system. So if you see in this diagram, in our this diagram of our practical. See, ATM card user, ATM system, bank database, these are the objects interacting in the system, right? So this we have to make. This is a lifeline. You can also have an actor notation also. A lifeline notation with an actor element symbol is used when the particular sequence diagram is owned by a use case, right? So if there is an owner or owned by a use case, then you can use a actor lifeline also, but generally this object lifeline is only used. So lifeline with an entity element represents system data. For example, in a customer service application, the customer entity would manage all the data related to a customer. So you can make a this entity kind of a thing you can make, right? That kind. So you also have a boundary lifeline also, but these are not generally used. Control lifeline, these are not used. Only generally it is the object lifeline which is used. So we are concerned with that, right? Then activation bars are there. Activation bar is the box placed on the lifeline. It is used to indicate that an object is active or instantiated during an interaction between two objects. The length of the rectangle indicates the duration of the object staying active. So if you see in this diagram, this bar, right, it is showing how much time this object is in the system. So this is the bar you are showing how much the so in a sequence diagram, an interaction between two objects occur when an object sends a message to another. The use of activation bar on the lifeline of the message caller, the object that sends a message, and the message receiver, the object that receives the message, indicates that both are active or is instantiated during the exchange of the message. So like this is your activation bar, right? So object 1 is sending a message, so starting, or object 2 will send a back message, whatever. So message caller, this is your activation bar actually. This is receiver's bar, this is caller's bar, right? Then message arrows, an arrow from the message caller to the message receiver specifies the message in a sequence diagram like this. This is a message arrow. The message can flow in any direction from left to right or right to left or back to the message caller itself, while you can describe the message being sent to one object to the other. On the arrow with different arrowheads, you can indicate the type of message being sent or received. The message comes with a description which is known as the message signature. Like here, this is a message signature. You will write what is the message for. The format of for this message signature is below. All parts except the message name are optional. So at message name, argument, return type you can give if you want. So you have synchronous message and asynchronous message. As shown in the activation bar example, synchronous message is used when the sender waits for the receiver to process the message and return before carrying on with another message. So synchronous is that which will wait for the receiver to receive the message and give a return message until and unless he will not give another message. The arrowhead used to indicate this type of message is a solid one like the one below. So this is a asynchronous message. Asynchronous message is used when the message caller does not wait for the receiver to process the message and return before sending other messages to other objects within the system. So if you see message object 1 and object 2, object 1 is sending object 2 a message, and object 1 is also sending object 3 a message. Asynchronous messages. It is not waiting for the object to return a reply message back. It is just sending. That is asynchronous, right? So what is a return message? Return message is used to indicate that the message receiver is done processing the message and is returning control over to the message caller. Return messages are optional notation pieces for an activation bar that is triggered by synchronous messages. Always implies a return message. So you can avoid cluttering up your diagram by minimizing the use of return messages, since the return message value can be specified in the initial message arrow itself. So here, this is this dotted arrow will mean a return message. So they are saying you can avoid cluttering up your diagram by minimizing the use of return messages, since the return message can be specified in the initial message arrow only. Here only you can specify. So right then, participant creation message. Objects do not necessarily live for the entire duration of the sequence of events. Objects or participants can be created according to the message that is being sent. The drop participant box notation can be used when you need to show that the particular participant did not exist until the create call was sent. So if the created participant does something immediately after its creation, you should add an activation box right below the participant box, right? So that is what they are talking about. So here the object is created here. The object 3, object 1 and object 2 are interacting, and then object 3 is created. So there is a destruction message also, where the likewise participant when no longer needed can also be deleted from a sequence diagram. This is done by adding an X at the end of the lifeline like this, right? Destroys object 1, destroys object 3 because it no longer or an object 2 because it no longer needs the object for interaction. Then there is a reflexive message, that is message to itself. When an object sends a message to itself, it is called a reflexive message. It is indicated with a message arrow that starts and ends at the same lifeline as shown below, like this, right? Then you can also give comments. So comment, there is a symbol for comment if you want to give any comment regarding any diagram. So that is there, right? You also have an alternative combination fragment which is used when a choice needs to be made between two or more message sequences. It models the if then else logic. So if you see here, you have bank, check, and account, checking the account, right? So bank gets amount, right? Then bank gets a balance from the checking account and the balance is returned to the bank. Then in an alternate, this is an alternate combination fragment which is there. In an alternate, you are saying if balance is greater than equal to amount, you are not writing if, you are just giving a condition. Balance is balances, I think, not balance is greater than equal to the amount you are requesting, then you will debit the account, debit, add debit transaction to the account, and store the or you are putting a check, or check for taking out the money. You are get either you are withdrawing, or you are putting a check for withdrawal. So both in the both cases, the debit will be done according to that, right? If balance is not greater than the amount which you are, it is less than the amount, then add, you will say else add insufficient fund fee, and you will return the check to the bank, and the return check will be returned to you. This kind of a thing. This is an alternate thing. If else condition option can be implemented in a sequence diagram. That is what they have shown here. So that is there, right? So here they have shown you another thing. This is a reference. Okay, this is a reference fragment, doesn't matter. So how to draw a sequence diagram? So so before you start drawing the sequence diagram or decide what interaction should be included in it, you need to draw the use case diagram and ready a comprehensive system what the particular case does. So suppose this is an online library management system. You have a librarian and an author credential database. The librarian create new online library account, right? So create new library user account, or library create new librarian account. So both these are the two types of accounts he can create: a user account, a librarian account. The librarian, right? Then the create new library account will extend to record application failure or include the check identity. Create new online library will include check identity. So he will identify the author credential database, or database he will identify that who is the author. So from the above use case diagram example of create new online library account, we will focus on the use case name create new user account, right? To draw a sequence diagram. So for creating a new user account, only any one use case you have to explain in a sequence diagram. So we are talking about create new library user account. How do you do that? Before drawing the sequence diagram, necessary to identify the objects or actors that would be involved in creating a new user account. These would be librarian, online library management system, user credential database, email system, right? So once you identify the objects, it is then important to write a detailed description on what the use case does. From this description, you can easily figure out the interaction that should go into in the sequence diagram that would occur between the object above once a use case is executed. So here are the steps that occur in the use case name create new library user account. The librarian requests the system to create a new online library account. The librarian then selects the library user account type. The librarian enters the user's detail. The user's detail are checked using the user credential database. The new library user account is created. A summary of the new account details are then emailed to the user. Right. So these are the steps which you will do for creating a new user account. From each of these steps, you can easily specify what message should be exchanged between the object in the sequence diagram. Once it is clear, you can go ahead and start drawing the sequence diagram. So how they have drawn it? So you have a librarian, library management system, user credential database, and the email system, right? So first, if you see here, the create new library account, the librarian create new library account on the library management system. Then he selects the account type on the library management system, right? If he enters the user detail on the library management system after selecting the account type, he select either he's a librarian or he's a user, right? Or he's a staff, whatever. So he enters the user credential on the on the library management system. Then the user credentials are checked on the user credential database that there is an already existing user or not. If he is not already existed, then the user account, the account is in the library management system. A new user account is created, right? And in the library management system, and this one which they have created here, it should be that the the new library account has been created, so a message comes on the library management system only that the account has been created. And the updated account, there should be a message to the user credential database also that update the user account should be created, saved, right? And then email account details to the library user. A message goes to the library management system only that an email has to be sent, and the email is sent via the email system to the user that his account has been created. This kind of a thing. And a return message is given to the librarian accordingly. This is how they have created a sequence diagram. So, what are the common mistakes you do when drawing sequence diagram? Designers tend to make these common mistakes. By avoiding these mistakes, you can ensure the quality of your diagram. Adding too much detail, this clutters up the diagram and makes it difficult to read. So, too much detail should not be there. Obsolete and out of date sequence diagrams that are irrelevant when compared to the interfaces, actual architecture, etc. of the system. Don't forget to replace them or modify them. So if you have, suppose in one iteration, when first time you have created a prototype, you have made a sequence diagram, and later on you updated certain things in your system, and there was an obsolete or out of date sequence diagram, earlier one. So that should not be there in your documentation. It should be now the modified, or it should be replaced with the new one, whatever changes you have done. So that is there. Leaving no blank space between the use case text and the message arrow, right? So this makes it difficult to anyone to read the diagram. So your message should be clear here, and there should not be any space or blank space between the use case text and the message arrow, right? Not considering the origin of message arrows carefully. So you are not considering from where the message is coming. That is also not good. So these are the common mistakes which you do. So here are some of the examples like they have done for online exam system. Here you have admin, examiner, student, test paper, result, and response. So the examiner prepares the test paper. So through the test paper, you are giving a message. The return message is sent to the examiner back that the test has been prepared, whatever. Right? Then the examiner, if he wants to modify the test paper, he can modify the test paper. A return status is given to him that the test paper has been modified. Then the student gives the paper, or you can say the student applies for the test. So there is, you can add here, he applies for the test, right? Then he appears for the test paper. He gives a response. So they have given, I have added these things also. So he gives a response accordingly, and the choices are returned to the student that he has selected this answer. Then the student can also check the result of his later on, and a return message is received that whether he has passed or failed the paper. And the admin sent an invite to the student for that such and such exam is being conducted. You can apply for the exam. So he sends a invite, and he gets a response accordingly. Then return the confirmation or whatever. Then he can also send the result. Admin can also send the result to the student, and he gets a response accordingly, return status accordingly. So this kind of a system they have made. So, right. Then they have made a school management system. So in a school management system, admin, student, teacher, test paper, class, subject, division, this they have done. So admin adds or modify the student, he gets a return message. Then teacher prepares for test paper, again a return status is given to him. Then the admin hires the teacher, and return status is given to him. Admin also adds the class or modify the class, and a return status is given to him. Admin can also add subjects and or modify the subjects accordingly. He will get the status. Admin can also add the division or modify the division, and accordingly he'll get the return status. right? So, and then the student can write the exam, right? Write the exam, and a return status is given to him, and he can mark his attendance. To the student can mark his attendance, and a return. A teacher can mark the student attendance. So from teacher to student it is. From teacher to student, teacher can mark the attendance, and a return status is given to her, and teacher can prepare the report card of the student, and a return status is given to her. And then the class is the class itself displays that this is the class name, and displays it can display the subjects itself, and division can display the division itself, which division, which class, which subject it is. That is what they have shown to this diagram. Then this is a loop example. You have registered office, account receivable, and class. So registration office, get pass, due balance. That means the student fees, about the fees they are talking about for the class, they have to pay. So get pass, due balance. So registered office gets the account receivables. They give the student ID, and they give it to the account receivable that how much balance the student fees is left to be paid. So the past due, or maybe the student has not paid for a few months, so that past due balance is returned to the registered office. And then alternate or options have come. Past due balance is equal, if past due balance is equal to 0, add student to the class. If it is 0, that means no balance is due for the student. So add the student to ID to the class, right? Student is added to the class, right? Get cost of class. So if student balance is not 0, if student balance is not 0, so here else option you can give. If student balance is not 0, then get cost of the class, and class cost will be returned to this, to the registered office. Charge for the class to the account receivable. So the registered office will charge the student for the class, and account receivable will receive that. So accordingly, he will be added to the student class according to the class. So this is also there, right? So different kinds of situations they have given, like here financial analyst, reporting system, security system, reports, available reports, ENU reports, and report. So here I get available reports. So reporting system, get security clearance, user ID, whether the user is a certified user who is getting the reports, then user clearance level is returned. Then reporting system, a new report is available. So the available reports are given back to the reporting system. Get all reports. Reporting system gets all the reports. Then has another report. So it goes to the ENU reports. So other reports are returned here. Has other reports too. So if there are other reports, get next report. There are many reports, so they are getting the report returned. Get required security level check, right, for the report, and required security level user clearance is given that these reports can be given to such a user. Add a report, and has another report, has another report. So these are the different reports they can return according to the financial analyst. If he has the clearance, and all different reports are returned. That is what they are shown. So this is what is there in your sequence diagram. So how to draw a sequence in this diagram, which is in your practical lab book. ATM card user is there, ATM system is there, bank database is there. This is for the ATM sequence diagram for the ATM operations, right? So ATM card user enters the ATM card and PIN. This message is sent to the ATM system, right? Then the ATM system validate ATM card and PIN request details of ATM from the database. It sends a message to the database to validate it, whether the ATM card and PIN are correct. Then the details are displayed to the ATM system that they are correct. right? If they are correct, then appropriate response is given to the user, right? Give response as ATM details, and then then you have to select the options, right? So the user is selecting request cash withdrawal. So validate per day limit and balance, give cash withdrawal details. So from the bank database, a message is given that kindly validate the per day limit and the cash withdrawal details. So the amount he has requested for that is updated if the balance and everything is checked. That is updated in the database, and give withdrawn cash amount and balance receipt and eject card. So accordingly, that amount and is given to the card user. He collects and balance receipt, and his card is ejected. If he requests for cash deposit, so the give cash deposit details, update the bank account, right? So give balance receipt, right? And the balance details are given to the ATM system, and ATM system gives the balance receipt to the ATM user. Then if he wants to request for pin change, then the from the database validate the old pin. The database will validate the old pin and update new pin, give new pin details. So the user gives the new pin details on the ATM system, and they are updated in the database, and give pin change message, and the message is updated to the user that your pin has been successfully updated, right? And if he requests for balance inquiry, again, request for balance details is checked from the database. The gives the balance details, and that is displayed to the user, and a receipt is printed. This is how sequence diagram is made. So if you have to make a sequence diagram, again we are opening our visual paradigm. So we will go for diagram. And we are going for the diagram. And new diagram, and we are saying sequence diagram, right? We are opening a blank diagram. You can give the name of the diagram also. I'm not. So in a sequence diagram, these are the lifeline you are taking. So this is your lifeline. First one is ATM card user, or you can say ATM user, whatever. Right, this is one of them. Then you have ATM system. So another, if you want, you can have a you can have another. So this is another lifeline you have created. This is ATM system. The message is passed to the ATM system accordingly. You can give the message name here,
I
right?
think his screen is
What?
hanging.
Screen is
Ma'am,
hanging.
you are not. Yes, ma'am.
Just hold on. I'll just share it again. Anybody has question? Kuldeep, are you asking some question? Now can you see?
Yes, now it is visible. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ATM and card pin, we have to here we have to enter. So we have entered the ATM card and pin in the ATM system. Like this, you have to give the message, right? Then you have another Another lifeline like this. Like this, you can have another one where you are saying validate ATM card and PIN request details. Here, if I add another message here, like this, I am adding with the on the message I am adding later on. After entering the ATM card and PIN, the user will now give the ATM system will now give it to validate ATM card and PIN request details. So you can write validate ATM card and PIN, right? So that is validated from the which ATM, the database. You can say ATM data or bank database or whatever, right? Like that, bank database, and then ATM details are passed back. So if you have to, okay, if you have to give a return message, in this there is no such thing as return message. So what we will do, we will take like this and we can give it like this. So here in the return message, ATM details are sent to the ATM system, right? Display the ATM system are sent there. Now give a response back to the again we are giving a response back to the user with the response at sorry. So options are asked to for selecting a appropriate action, right? Now again a message for request of cash withdrawal is sent from here. Then again you will say you are sending a message of, so you can put it here. You are sending a message that withdrawal. So if you want to withdraw, right? So now what message you will send to the bank? Validate per day limit and balance. So now again you are sending a message to the bank that you have to validate per day limit and balance, right? And accordingly response goes back. This is how you have to make a sequence diagram. Can you understand? Anybody has any doubt? in a sequence diagram? Anybody has doubt in a sequence diagram? How is it made? Any doubts, class? My screen
No,
is
ma'am.
visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any doubts in this?
No, ma'am.
So there in your session 3, you have draw sequence diagram for online shopping system. So tell me, in an online shopping system, what all things you will have? What all objects will be interacting? It's an interaction diagram, right? So what all objects will be interacting?
User login, cart, browsing of item, create cart,
Okay.
and then
Ma'am, barcode reader also.
payments.
What?
Barcode reader will also be there. When we take some product, then it will verify from
Oh,
database
that
about
is
the.
not for online shopping. No barcode is swapped in online shopping,
Okay, ma'am.
right? Only cart will be there.
Waste card is there, and then payment mode
Yes,
and different payment options,
and
a
delivery,
new
shipment
user
and
and delivery
yes,
options.
shipment and
Ma'am,
delivery.
inventory will also be there.
What?
Inventory.
Inventory will
Yeah.
be there. That you can for inventory you can say database. You will
Acha.
check from the database that the product is available, the price and product and whatever. You will see that. And so see, when you are creating a sequence diagrams, too much detail is not required. That will be a mistake, right? Remember what we have studied right now? Not too much things we have to give, only a process we have to explain any one use case. Like if we are selecting a product, we have added the product in the cart, and how we will do the payment and we will check out that process we have to explain. Any one process you have to explain,
We will
right?
not have return in that, no, ma'am. We will only say one successful selection and payment of billing and delivery. That's all. We
Yeah.
will not include the
If you are
cancelling
saying
of
you are
order.
if you are saying you are logged into the system, first you are checking, validating from the system, from the database that you are valid user, right? As a guest user also you can log in, but I'm just saying, suppose if you are saying that you are a registered user and you are logged into the system, so you are validating from the database that you are a valid user, right? With you are giving your username and password and you are a valid user. Now you can select the product from the database, whatever inventory product you are selecting. After that, you are adding it to your cart. After that, you are giving it for the payment, right? Now in payment, you can have an alternate means if then option. If your payment is successful, then your order is placed. If your payment is not successful, that means else your payment fails, that means else order is not placed. You can have an alternate, yes or no,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Even in login also you can have an alternate, that if login successful, then you go to the option of selecting the products from the database. If you are not logged in successfully, then you are not allowed to add it to the cart or whatever you can say that, right? I'm just giving an example. So now after your payment is successful, your order is placed, then it goes to the shipment. You get an email from the system that your order is placed and your shipment delivery is sent to, details are sent to you. That's all. That is finished, right? Any problems in online shopping? If you have to see,
Ma'am, when we authenticate for the user,
hmm,
then we have to see it from database or admin will do it.
the database has to be seen. Now, admin will not update you. You are a user. The admin doesn't know that you are a registered user or no. Admin will never know it,
Okay, ma'am.
right? That has to be checked from the database only. The admin will not know.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So we are just seeing some example. Like they have given you one of the example here. This is a YouTube one. So here in eDraw, so here they have given you one of the example, like you have a customer, you have a fashion hub or a website, you can say whatever website or a system they are talking about, online shopping system. You have customer. So they have created two customers here, right? If you want, you can create two kinds of three customers they have created. Not you don't require to create three customers like this. Only one customer object can be created and a bank database, right? So customer can whose mic is on, please mute it. So customer adds the item to the cart on the, so if you want to show login option, you can show that. They are just showing how the customer orders. So customer adds the item to the cart from the on the Fashion Hub website or online shopping website, right? And the customer can also remove from the cart whatever items he has selected. If he doesn't want that, he can the customer can he can also see the cart. The cart is displayed accordingly. He can see the he can click on the purchase order. He clicks on the purchase order. So the in the bank after he check, and all these things are updated in the database. Remember, if you add an item to the cart, so cart is temporary, cart is have items until you have not ordered. So cart will be updated, have items until the order is complete. So cart will be containing the order, so that should be connected to the database accordingly. If you are removing the item from the cart, that should also be updated in the database. So everything is you are getting from the database only, the bank database, not the bank. There should be a database here. So a database should be there. So from the database only everything is getting updated, right? Now the customer receives a order. So rather than making the customer here, this only you will reply back this Fashion Hub. Once you click purchase order, the order is placed, and the Fashion Hub or the website asks for the payment, and the payment option is selected. So and the bank or credit card, whatever mode of payment your bank is updated according to that. The payment is verified, then payment is successful, then it goes back to the Fashion Hub site, and the Fashion Hub sites updates your order and gives you the detail that the order has been placed, and email is also sent to you. And then it can go to the shipment and delivery option. You can also add a shipment and delivery. They have given it like this. I am telling you what you have to do, right? Just an example.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Here, the direction of the arrows, how significant they are, ma'am? Like
they are significant.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to give the arrows according to from where to where you are going. Your arrows are going. That will be matter of how the system is contacting, right? Like here they have given customer, portal, and database. So customer selects sign up option, that he will sign up to the portal. That means he will log in. Then enters the name, mobile number. So this is a sign up functionality they are talking about. They are not talking about what? They are not talking about ordering option or adding items to the cart and order placement. They are not talking about order placement. Which use case they are talking about? Login use case. I told you, any one use case you can explain with your sequence diagram. Can you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a sign up or login use case. So a customer selects the sign up option. Yeah. Sign up option, and then he enters the name, mobile number, and email, right? Date of birth and gender if they are asking, right? Then the password, he creates a password for his sign up, and he confirms re-enters or confirms the password, and then check click accept and submit, right? Then verification details are done, whether this the customer name or user ID or whatever is already there. If it is already there, then a message is sent that change your username or user ID. A different username should be selected. Otherwise, if it is not there, then what will
Detail are
happen?
sent to the server.
Is will check with the database with other numbers and emails, whatever, and then it will give the success token that it is not available, and success message with the confirmation email is sent to the customer. Right? You can from
Yes,
the
ma'am.
database it is checking, and user ID is created, and success is sent to the email is sent to them. So this is only for sign up they are talking about. So you can have other things also. Like here they have given user ID, pass. Now if you log in, login functionality. When you log in customer web portal and database, you put the user ID on the web portal and you put the password, check submit. After submission, the authentication is checked from the database whether you are an authenticated user. Success token is sent back to the web portal, and then it display the message and ask for the OTP. If OTP login is there, you enter the OTP, click submit OTP, and then OTP is verified, and then success token is given back and display success message and allow the user and other features he can log in now. Just an example, any one functionality you have to. Then suppose you are adding something to the cart. So what they are doing is customer web portal database. You are logging to the system, authenticated, success is given back, display success message, and then customer searches for the product from the web portal, right? That is the web portal is already connected to the database, so they are not showing that you are getting it from the database, but it is by default it is connected to the database only. Then visit the product page. You are visiting the product page, right? Now they have not shown you add the item. If you are you add the item to the cart, that is not shown here. Please show that also. Add the item to the on the web portal to the cart, right? Now you
Ma'am,
enter
first they are checking whether
they are
this
checking the
pin
pin
code
code.
is available,
So if they
delivery
give
is
the pin
available
code,
on this pin code or
yes,
not.
I understand. So they are first checking whether that item is available at that pin code or not, whether it is deliverable to that pin code. So it like clicks on add button if it is available. So check for availability whether that object is available. So from the database, the pin and stock availability is checked. If the success is returned, then display the success and add the product in the cart. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you can also add it here if it is if the item is added and you want to check out, then you will select the payment option. You will check out and select the payment option. You can also add that, and the bank option can also be added here, right? So now there's a product order page. Login, authentication, add to cart. You add the item to the cart. A cart is from the verification process is done whether that particular object is available or not. This one. So if it is available, then that product is added to the cart. Check the total payable amount. So whatever items you have added, later on you will check the total payable amount and enter the delivery address. Select the payment mode. The payment verification is done from the database server. Rather than database server, you can add a bank here, and payment verification is done there, and that is a success message goes here, and database is updated that order has been placed, and a success message goes to the customer for order placement. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
that can be done. So different options you can add it here. That is what they are talking about. So any one thing you can explain, that is what is there. Just an example. Right. Same way now they are saying online examination system. So in an online examination system, what all things you will require? Like we have seen what I had shown you in this collaboration diagram, one of the example was of an online examination system. You can take that example also. This one, admin, examiner, student, test paper, result and response. Yes, you can take that online examination system.
Yes,
You
we
have,
can.
you can have an admin who is handling the website. You have an examiner who will be adding the test papers or modifying that, right? Preparing the test papers or modifying the test paper. You can show, prepare or modify in one message only. You don't have to show it separately, like modify separately, prepare separately, right? Prepare or
Yes,
modify,
ma'am.
add or modify in one message only, and a return message status is received. Then student can apply for the test, right? Test paper, whatever you can say, right or wrong. That they
Yes,
have
ma'am.
not shown, that they have not shown, you can show. Student can apply for a test paper, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
right,
They can authenticate first, validate the
yes.
user details, login, and then some.
If you do not want to show the login part, doesn't matter, you are a valid login. I told you, na, only one
Only
process.
valid user can participate in to that.
Yeah, any valid user you are is participating, so you show it like that, because if you show the login process also, it gets complicated, too much information will be there in that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So student is already a registered student, so he applies for a test paper. Then whatever test he appears for the test paper, gives a response,
In a
res-
proper
right?
time slot.
Yeah, time and date, whatever is there, we are not giving that. He has just selected the test paper, and that will be on particular date and time, whatever it will be, right? We are not saying
Yes.
that, but that is known, that is on a particular date and time. Then he gives a response to the test paper, his answers, and his answers are status is
Examinable.
returned to him. Then student can check his result also, what result he has got, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Generally in an online examination, the response is certain exams the response are immediate. You get that your result is this much, and certain exams the result is displayed later on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that depends whatever option you want to take. If you are displaying the result instantly, that is also there. And if you are saying the result will be declared later on, that is also you can option. So he can check his results, the student can do that, right? Then the admin will invite the student to that these are the exams you can appear for these, this is the schedule of the exam, this date and this time, right? He will give an invite to the student, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If he's a registered user, the students will be given a schedule that these are the test paper dates and time, or date and time of the test paper, you can apply for them. So he will give an invite, and then he will get a confirmation from the student that he wants to apply for the exam, and he will apply for the exam, whatever he's applying for the test. And then the result will also be sent by the admin that your result is this, right? So accordingly, you can change your options. It's just an example. So you can add your things, whatever you want. So this is one of the example, right? So what they have, what other option you can have is, we are just seeing the, this is I think the same one which we are done. This is the same one. So we are not going for that. Again, this is student online examination system. This is
Database.
question bank and answer
Database
key.
and question paper
Database,
answer key.
question bank, and answer key. So, student log into the online examination system. This is also good. Then verifies the student credential from the database, confirms the student credentials. Then online
Provide
examination
access to
system
exam.
provides the access to the exam. The exam starts. Matlab, he must have applied for the exam and he must have got his username and password for the exam, for online exam, right? So he starts
Yes, ma'am.
he gives a he gets access to the exam. He starts the exam. He sends his questions responses, or question, he checks for the questions on the question bank, returns exam questions is returned from the question bank, right, and displays the question to the user. The student submit the answers are evaluated according to the answer key, and that is returned to the examination system back and displays the scores. So this and logout. So it is instant result, is where instant result is displayed. That is what they have shown, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can have an example. It just you can also take this kind of a system also. It just one of the examples. So this is the same one which we had done. I'm not going for that. I don't know what they have given. Online examination system. So here, student online examination system, student record database, assigned examination requirement database. So ask for information from the online examination, provides information. He gives his username and password, whatever information is given. Then alternate is given here. If info is valid, if the username and password are valid, then it is checked from the student database. So check the info is valid, proceed to examination, right? Else, if not, then check the info is invalid, can't proceed. So you can't, until and unless your username and password are correct, you cannot proceed. So there is an option they have given. After that, he's allowed to proceed to the examination if his login is successful to access the examination on the exam. So processing assigned examination is give confirmation, content is given to the student. He answers the response on the online examination system. The answer are given on the assigned examination. Answers are processed there. And then examination is complete. They have not shown that the result is displayed right now, so answers are not evaluated. Just this much they have shown, right? This is also a good option. So this is one of the sequence diagram. So you can have as many examples. Now you have to decide which one, what all things you want to put in your online examination system. Understand? Any doubts? Then you have employee management system. Now see what will employee management system will have in a sequence diagram. What all things will be in employee management system?
This we have to consider from starting of employment, ma'am. It's like giving offer
Can do
letter,
starting of
accepting.
employment. You can do attendance of an employee. You can do salary of an employee. Any one process you can explain.
Okay.
You can explain the login process where he's log into the system, or you can explain the salary calculation of the employee. You can do the attendance maintenance of an employee. Any process, one process you have to explain. You can take any one. That is your wish.
Okay, okay. If we
Because
take
all the things you are not able to explain in one diagram, na? It will be too much of
Yes, ma'am.
information.
We have to just consider a scenario and
Yes.
place a step-by-step scenarios in that case.
Yes.
If we have a
That is-
login, then check the credential
Either
and put
suppose
the
in
attendance.
in your theory examination, you are not given a criteria.
So we
Remember,
have to consider our
we had last time seen a question paper of June 2025, or I think December 2025. That first question was asked about a hospital management something. They have given the sequence of things which are happening, right? Remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, and then they are asking you to draw a use case diagram or a sequence diagram. So if they are asking you to draw a sequence diagram and they have given you the process, what all things are happening inside the system, then so you have to draw according to the what the question is saying. If you are
Okay.
not given the situation, you are just given draw a use case diagram on employee management or online shopping or whatever, then you take any, you can either create, if it is a 10 marks question, suppose, right? If it is a 10 marks question and you only have to draw a sequence diagram, then though you can say login process will be like this, then attendance process will be like this, then you can make it separate, two, three diagrams you can make. If it is a 10 marks question. If it is not a
Okay,
10
ma'am.
marks question, only 2, 3 marks or 5 marks question it is there, then make only one process, whatever process you want, you think is important.
Okay.
Right, depends on the number asked for your question, how many marks are there, that depends what you will make. So now consider employee management system, what scenario you want to take it, whether it is login, whether it is salary, whether it is attendance, what do you want to take?
Attendance management, ma'am, because that will have multiple stages. Login.
Right, okay, take it. Then what all things you will require in an attendance management?
The employee
First is the login will be there, employee will log in, the verification will be done from the database.
time in will be marked.
Yes.
And then once time in is marked, then whether we will
He is
say
covering the number of hours which he is assigned to
full day
that
Working hour or
working hour.
overtime.
Yeah, whether he's the number of working hours he is managing, and the number of days he is present, number of days he is absent, right?
yes.
Everything will be taken considered. And if he's working overtime, some companies give overtime. India, it is rare, but if some companies give overtime, then you have to calculate overtime also, right? So all these things are considered in an attendance management system, right? And then their salary, if you want to show that after the attendance their salary is calculated, you can show the salary is calculated and a salary slip is sent to the salary and salary slip is sent to
Employee.
the employee. That's all, right? You can show that.
Yes, ma'am.
No need to show the login process. You don't need to explain. Just say login verified. If the user is verified, he will go to the attendance. He will mark his attendance, and in the database, his attendance is marked. His hourly per day hours are calculated. Matlab how many hours he has worked, how many days he has present, how many days he is absent, that is calculated, and after that his salary is distributed after a month. That's it. That's all you have to show, right? If you are showing that, right?
Yes, ma'am. Or we can take a employer, employee, and database.
Yes, you can do that.
In that we can add employee, remove employee, or attendance in just a simple sequences. As the admin, hire someone and give him employee code, employee login,
Yes, you can do that.
authenticate.
Like here they have done here employees there,
Employer registration and
registration, submit, login, profile
shift time
detail,
allotment.
shift time, they have done that way. So you can see that also. The employee logins, if employee is a new, he will register first. If employee is already a registered person, he will log in.
Employee first login, then successful login.
Right.
Third is registered.
The register is if he is a new employer. Registration
Here,
process.
here they are representing employee, not employer.
Only employee I'm talking about. I'm saying
Yes,
if
ma'am.
he is a new employee, he will
Ma'am,
first
as
register.
they are mentioned the numbers before each step, that first is login, then second is successful. Successful
They are,
login.
yeah, I'm saying he's a, if he is a success, he is
We
successful
have to
login.
follow these steps in a proper these manners, or we can rearrange them.
No, you can rearrange them. It's just an example they are showing now.
Okay.
This registration is not, they are saying if he's already a registered user, he will log in and then he's checked from the profile credential or database, then he will successfully log in. One process is this. If he is not a registered, right now he is not registered, he will first register as an employee with his username, whatever he is assigned a username and password, he will be given a username or
Like that,
password.
he fill the form and submitted.
No, in a company, you have already filled the form and everything when you have when you had given your application,
Okay.
right, you had given an application that I want to apply for such and such position and whatever you had given. So that information they take and then they create your username and password, and that is supplied to you on an email that this is your username and password, right?
Hmm.
Right. So initially
Yes,
they
ma'am.
give you a dummy password. So when you register, that means you are first time entering as a new user. So you are registering, and then you can say you have to give your username and password, and or not your name, everything is given, your employee ID, you register, and they give you a username and password on your email, and then you log in with that username and password. Any process you can understand. So that is registering. So now you have been registered. Now you can, what you can do is you can submit that application, and then you will be asked to again log in. You log in and then you can go on and put your shift time and on. That is what they are explaining, right? And then see here, after shift time, they are also calculating the salary also here, right? So that is your thing, how you want to take it. So we were talking about only the here it is employee, system manager, and admin, right? So provide the details to the system manager. The system manager provides the details to the admin. The admin will create the account. Employee account is created, he log into the system manager. Why this system manager is given rather than system manager? It should be the online system which is there, right? Login, he is authenticated and request to modify or remove the account. If he wants that to remove or modify the account, he can forward the request to the admin. The system will request it to the admin. Admin will update the account or delete the account accordingly. Only the account information they are talking about here, right? Attendance one, I think. Here it is payroll. So in a payroll system, employees submit attendance and work hours to the HR. HR updates the employee data. Payroll system initiate the payroll calculation. The payroll system calculates the salary, confirms the calculated salary to the HR, right? The HR approves the payroll, and the payroll system generates a salary slip and share it to the employee, and send the details to the bank, and the bank will transfer the amount accordingly. Yes, this is also okay, not a problem. This is payroll system they are explaining of the employee, right? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So this is your thing, how you want to take the question in your thing. You want how the question in your criteria, you want to make it accordingly. Doesn't matter. You can club in attendance and salary. How he logs into the system, and then he's authenticated. After that, he puts his attendance on hourly basis, and then his attendance is calculated. like here, the attendance is calculated, and then the employee data is updated in the system, and the payroll calculation is initiated, and the salary is confirmed, and then it is transferred to the bank for fund transfer, right? You can do that. You can club the attendance and payroll system, right? So these are the 3 questions on sequence diagram. Any doubts anybody is having on sequence diagram? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Now, in session 4, you have another diagram which is known as collaboration diagram. Collaboration diagram's other name is communication diagram, right? You can say communication also, you can say collaboration also. Both are same. So in collaboration diagram, if we go to collaboration, I know. So the collaboration diagram is used to show the relationship between the objects in a system. Both the sequence and the collaboration diagram represent the same information but differently. They are representing the same information, but it is differently. Instead of showing the flow of messages, it depicts the architecture of the object residing in the system. It is based on object-oriented programming. An object consists of several features. Multiple objects present in the system are connected to each other. The collaboration diagram, which is also known as communication diagram, is used to portray the object's architecture in the system. So notation are, you have objects, you have actors, you have links, messages, right? So like here, you have actor or object, whatever you can say. In this rectangle, you will put objects and actor. They are passing messages. The numbering of the message is important. From where to where the message are passing and what is the number of that message. That is important here. In sequence diagram, the messaging numbering is not important. In this, numbering is important in collaboration diagram. So when to use a collaboration diagram? The collaborations are used when it is essential to depict the relationship between the object. Both the sequence and collaboration diagram represent the same information, but the way of portraying it is quite different. The collaboration diagrams are best suited for analyzing use cases. Following are some of the use cases enlisted below for which the collaboration diagram is implemented: to model collaboration among the objects or roles that carry the functionalities of use cases and operations; to model the mechanism inside the architectural design of the system; to capture the interactions that represent the flow of messages between the objects and roles inside the collaboration; to model different scenarios within the use case or operation involving a collaboration of several objects and interaction; to support the identification of objects participating in the use case, right? So in collaboration diagram, each message constitutes a sequence number such that the top level message is marked as 1 and so on. So the messages sent are during the same call are denoted with the same decimal prefix but with different suffixes 1, 2, etc. as per their occurrence, right? So first steps for creating a collaboration diagram is determine the behavior for which the realization and implementation are specified, discover the structural elements that are class, roles, objects and subsystems for performing the functionality of collaboration, choose the context of interaction, system, subsystem, use case and operation, think through alternative situations that may be involved, implementation of a collaboration diagram at an instance level if needed, a specification level diagram may be made, for instance, sequence diagram for summarizing alternative situations. So here, like they have given you an example, you have a window, user interface. That means you are on the user interface, you are making a reservation for the train, you are booking a ticket, right? So make reservation is the first message. You go to the train. Kindly mute the mic whose mic is on. So make reservation, then check your train is there. Your train number you are selecting, and then make reservation on that train, right? So on that make reservation for that train. So you are selecting the seat. Third message is seat available. So if seat is available, reservation is done. A notice confirmation will be sent. Right? A seat available, so you are checking here. If seat is not available, So you will go back to the train option again. So that kind of a thing they have. So what are the benefits of a collaboration diagram? Collaboration diagram is also known as communication diagram. It mainly puts emphasis on the structural aspect of an interaction diagram, that is how lifelines are connected. The syntax of a collaboration diagram is similar to the sequence diagram, just the difference is that the lifeline does not consist of tails. The messages transmitted over sequencing is represented by numbering each individual message. The collaboration diagram is semantically weak in comparison to the sequence diagram. The special case of a collaboration diagram is the object diagram. It focuses on the elements and not the message flow like sequence diagram. Since the collaboration diagrams are not that expensive, the sequence diagram can be directly converted to the collaboration diagram. There may be a chance of losing some amount of information when implementing a collaboration diagram with respect to the sequence diagram. What are the drawbacks? Multiple objects residing in the system can make a complex collaboration diagram, as it becomes quite hard to explore the objects. It is a time consuming diagram. After the program terminates, the object is destroyed. As the object state changes momentarily, it becomes difficult to keep an eye on every single that has occurred inside the object of the system. So this is the example they have given. Let us see in your book whether they have given. This is a collaboration diagram or a communication diagram for banking system. So you have customer, ATM, and account. These are the objects which are interacting in the system. So customer first insert ATM card in the ATM machine, right? First message is insert ATM card to the ATM machine. ATM machine requests for the PIN, right? Customers, third message is customers enters the PIN to the ATM machine. ATM machine verifies the PIN from the account. Fifth is PIN is okay, right? So ATM, the sixth is request for the option to the customer. Customers option enters the option, seventh message to the ATM. Then ATM request for the amount. Suppose the option is withdrawal, so request for the amount, eighth message. The customer's ninth message is amount entered. ATM ATM processes the transaction, checks that whether the amount is less than the balance, then the account is transaction is successful. Then ATM dispenses the cash, 12th message. The customer takes the cash, dispense the cash and request to take the cash. They have done it separately, 12 and 13. You can combine them, dispense and request to take the cash. Then the customer takes the cash, 14, right? And then the request for continuation, that he wants to continue with another transaction. The customer terminates, that he doesn't want to continue, right? And then the ATM machine prints the receipt, 17, like that. Can you understand how they have given the collaboration diagram
Yes, ma'am.
in number formatting? This is how collaboration diagram is done. So if we have to make a collaboration diagram now, here I think it is communication diagram rather than collaboration. So it is communication. So both are same only. If you don't find collaboration in anywhere, so it is communication then. So if you have a lifeline, that will be a object name. So here you have customer, right? Then customer can send a message to another lifeline, right? Like this. Now you can have whatever message you want to send. So customer is sending to the ATM, right? And message is, what is the message? Enter the card. So he enters the ATM card in the ATM. The first message is this, right? So you can put the message like this. Then the ATM gives a return message. So return message is given to the customer, I'm just giving you here. Let us put it here like this. Can you see how it is done? So I'm putting the second message. Second message is enter the pin, the ATM cards. After you enter the card in the ATM and ATM asks to enter the pin, second message. Then
It's a type of account, savings or current account.
no, that is not required. In ATM, no saving or current account doesn't matter here. Understand? So again, we are giving a message here. Again, we are giving a message like this. So the third option is now. No, sorry. So it should not be the third one. I have deleted the first one. Okay. So from the ATM, another message goes to the another lifeline. That is a bank, right? From the bank, it will check. Third message goes to the bank. What is the message is there? Verify PIN, you know? It will verify the PIN. This is a message it goes, and a return message goes here back. Go to the ATM. So a return message goes here. We can put the fourth message like this. Where is that 4 gone? So we can put the fourth message as successful. That means the pin is verified. You can say pin verified. If you're not successful, you can say pin verified, right? So this is your fourth message. So keep on remembering that you have to answer according to the messages which are being passed. After verifying pin, the third message which is going on is from the ATM to the customer. The fifth message is enter option or whatever transaction. Enter the option which you want to select. This is the fifth message. So you can put it like this. This is the fifth message. I think it should be here. The fifth message is enter the option, and sixth message should be withdraw cash, right? He wants to withdraw cash. That is his sixth message. Now again the ATM will check uh, the from the bank, the amount is debited. So I am just not making more. So this is how you have to make it. Can you understand the diagram, how it is made? Any doubt, class? Any doubts in the diagram?
No, ma'am.
So this is how you have to make it, right? So now what they have asked you, I'm just seeing whether they have given any explanation. Chart diagram, activity diagram, use case. Okay, they have not given any explanation for that. So here they have made the sequence diagram, state chart diagram, activity diagram, and collaboration. Okay. So what they have asked you, draw collaboration diagram for student registration process in master's program of a university. So think of IGNOU University only, and think of a diagram, collaboration diagram for student registration process in master's program. How do you do that? You have to make a collaboration diagram. You have student, right? You have university portal and database. Yes, these are the objects. Yes or no? Tell me. Here you will have student. This is the university portal, right? This is your university portal and this is your database. I'm just giving you an example, right? So for the master's program, first you will go to the university portal for and register. Yes or no? You will register. First message will be registration. Yes or no? Then
Yes, ma'am.
the university portal will ask for the ask for your details on for registration, right? Student details. So you will put the student details. I'm just changing the numbering here. So suppose the numbering, the third number comes here. So you will put the details. So student will put the details on the university portal, that is updated in the database. Updated or verified and updated, right? Whether already a user is there or not, it will also verify that. Yes or no? Yes or no? Verify and updated. Oh, sorry, the fourth message will come here. Verify and updated to the database, and database will confirm it. So fifth one we will put here. Confirm and confirmation of login will be given. Confirmation for login will be given to the portal, and here you can add here the portal will give now here we should say updated information updated. Yeah, login created, we can say. Login created. After verifying, login is created, and the information is passed to login information, and login info given on email, right? Login info given on email. So you have logged in, and now you will log in. So your next message which will be there from student to this, where is it? Okay, 7th is here. So next what you will do after your third, next you will log in. right? After login, again verification. So next login is verified. You can say next your eighth one. Where is your eighth? I don't know where I put the eighth one. No problems. So you can put another message from here to here. Login verified. And when you log in verified, after that you go, the student portal will let you select the course, right? You will select the course, MCA, whatever course you are selecting. Then after selecting the course, your eligibility will be checked, right? You will fill your course details and payment will be done, right? If you are eligible for the course, your admission process will be completed. If you are not eligible, then I think your fees will be refunded or whatever will be done. I'm just giving you an example. Understand? Yes or no? We can make that student registration process or not.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what you have to do in this. And what about draw collaboration diagram for online banking system? Now this is not ATM system. This is banking system. ATM system, this is what is happening in a collaboration diagram. This is an ATM, not banking. In a banking system, what all things you have to explain in a collaboration diagram? Can anybody tell? Online banking system.
Different kind of accounts, credit card department.
Now, first, you will log into the
Okay.
online banking system.
Yes.
Yes.
You suppose you are already a customer, right? So you will log in. The customer will log in. Customer is there, bank is there, and the database is there, right? Three objects are there. So customer will log into the bank, right? After login, successful login, that is confirmed from the database. After successful login, he can do what all after login to the internet banking. What all things he can do? He can transfer funds. He can make bill. He can do bill payment.
Check balance,
Check
open
balance,
open
statement.
any other savings account, like deposits he can open.
So any one process you can explain. That is your wish, because all the things, if you take all the things in a one go, so that will be a little complicated. Do you understand? Collaboration diagram also will get complicated. So many messages you have to pass, right? So you can show like fund transfer. Either you can show fund transfer, either you can show state check balance or print statement, or you can show bill payment, or you can show apply for a new account or apply for a credit card, whatever. Any one thing you can show. Can you understand? If you club in all the things in one diagram, it will be too complicated. Yes or no?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I'm saying. So online banking, all when you log into an online banking system or internet banking, what all things you can do? Only one, at least one, you can explain. Any one. Any doubts in that?
No, ma'am.
Then collaboration diagram for employee management system. Now see, sequence diagram for employee management system and collaboration diagram for employee management system. The same thing you are explaining here can be explained here also. Can you understand? Yes or no? Now, if you are talking about attendance, if you are in employee management system, attendance and salary, so it's same you can show here also employee, the employee management system and the database. So employee logins to the employee management system, puts an employee management system, puts the attendance, the employee puts the attendance in the employee management system. First he logins, then he successfully logged in, then he puts his attendance, marks his attendance. The attendance is calculated by the employee management system for salary. The database is updated and the salary is salary slip is and the salary is transferred to the employee. Yes or no? You can show that. Just an example I'm talking about. Yes or no? Messages can be passed accordingly.
Yes, ma'am.
That is your employee management system. That's all. Any doubts in both the diagrams, sequence diagram and collaboration diagram? Class,
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, it's clear.
right? So
No, ma'am. No doubt.
up to this part, you have completed the class diagram, object diagram, use case diagram, sequence diagram, collaboration diagram. How many diagrams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagrams you have completed, right? Now you are
Yes,
now
ma'am.
you are left with 4 diagrams: activity diagram, state chart diagram, component diagram, and deployment diagram. These are the 4 diagrams which are left. So in the next session, that is tomorrow, we will do the activity diagram, right? We'll do that tomorrow. So up to now, any doubt anybody is having, whatever we have studied? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Has anybody not done their assignments? Anybody is left with their assignment or something?
No, ma'am.
Everybody is cleared, given their assignment, submitted it, because your assignment date has been extended. Those who have not still submitted, they can submit the assignment.
Okay,
Right?
ma'am.
And I've told you that you, in your lab assignments, MCSL 222, you have to attach your what? Lab record.
Lab records.
Yes. So remember that. Those who have not submitted, those who have already submitted, it is good. No problems. And those who have not added the lab records, if you can try, you can resubmit on the LMS. Try to resubmit it if you can add your lab records with that, and resubmit your assignments if you can resubmit it on LMS portal. Right? Any doubts? Everybody kindly put your name and attendance, name and enrollment number in your chat box for attendance. Anybody is left, kindly put your name and enrollment number. Any doubts? So we can end the class today. If you have doubts, we'll continue. If you don't have doubts, we'll end the class today, and tomorrow we'll have the next class then. Any doubts anybody is having?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
So much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. So I'm just ending the session. If you have another session at 2 p.m., you can join that, right? I'm ending the session right now.
No more class today, right? Only 2 sessions were scheduled. Correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajendra.
I think we can wrap up the call, right?